sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray. Brought to you proudly by Sportsman's Warehouse and the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out January. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that we are in the fourth weekend of January of 2020. Well, where did Y2K come from? I don't know. But
Worst week of the year.
It is, really. Yeah, because it ends the duck season.
That's right.
Of course, I'm in deer depression. You know, I see where Mississippi, you recognize the voice. It is the fourth Saturday, which means Bill Cooksey is here. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Larry. Morning, everybody.
And Bill knows this is the last week of this season.
That's right.
For duck hunting.
That's right. And I thought I would be doing this from the duck blind, but my blind's underwater. We'll be in it tomorrow, but right now it's still, the shooting rail's probably waist deep right now.
Well, and your waders, and you're not, if you were 6'9".
Well, you could actually hunt it, but the water's so deep there won't be any ducks using it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, and I did, and we're going to talk with Bill a lot. Of course, Bill is the Vanishing Paradise Sportsman's Coordinator for the National Wildlife Federation. And I went to Arkansas this past week for my aunt's 96th birthday, and I was I didn't see any ducks. I saw lots of water.
Really?
I didn't see as many ducks, but lots of snow geese.
Yeah.
Snow geese. I mean, right on the interstate, right there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, when you go by those big wads of snow geese, thousands or whatever they are, the trucks keep going because they've seen them before. But the people heading to Texas and all other places, they slow down to 45.
Right.
And so you're trying to.
It's quite a sight if you're not used to it.
It is, because they just hover like some kind of a.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really get up. There are a bunch of them flying
up high, but yeah, they're all spiraling around down low, and yeah, it's
I've always been a snow goose man. I don't know. Bruce Batt was Mr. Snow Goose.
Yep.
For the DU.
Yes, sir.
And I always talked to Bruce about that and called him the Snow Goose Man. But as we close out, and I want to talk to more with Bill as we get on, the duck season itself. We were talking off the air. We've had ample amounts of water. We got some cold weather.
We had good cold weather early. And I think most of us had a lot more ducks early than we're used to.
Yes, yeah.
And then come Christmas, we were still hunting the same ducks we were hunting at Thanksgiving. And it's pretty much stayed that way.
It stayed that way, hadn't it?
The water going up and down, like last year, has been the main thing that moved any birds around to speak of. I mean, we had two different weekends I'll tell you about. One on Friday, we had some guys hunting, and they shot one bluebill.
Give a general location where you hunt.
West Tennessee in the Mississippi River bottom.
Right, okay.
They killed one bluebill on Friday. Saturday morning, we killed 36 mallards and pintails. Then the next day, we killed 3 teal, all in the same spot. Last weekend, I was out of town, but they shot like 3 ducks on Friday, 35 on Saturday, and Sunday it was too deep to hunt.
The water was too deep.
It got too deep in the blind hunt.
Because the Mississippi is almost flood stage.
It is flood stage.
Yeah.
I mean, where I hunt, we're on the Caruthersville gauge.
Okay.
And it went to, I think, 37 there.
Yeah.
And at 32, it's in our blind, getting in it.
Now, is that normal? I know it. I keep up with the river a lot because, later today I'm going over to Marion, in fact, to the Shake Shack, the Tacker Shake Shack.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I love to go over there and eat.
Sure.
But is mid-January, late January, the river this high now? Because, we hadn't any snow melt. It's rained.
No, but most duck seasons, like our blind that I hunt up there, that field has been a duck club since the 60s.
Since the 60s.
It started off, it was buckbrush and timber, and then by the 70s, it was a soybean field, and that's 900 acres of soybeans.
Yeah.
And been that ever since. And most years, at some point, the river gets in the river pushes up and floods us out. I mean, it's not unusual in January for the Mississippi. November is unusual, and last year it was out in November.
It was out in November,
This year it stayed somewhat tame until January.
So what do you what's it been like for you guys?
It's tough, man.
It's tough.
I mean, we haven't
got to
had
really
weather.
want to do it, okay?
It's everybody wants to talk about what the problem is, and what I would encourage people to do, if you're actually interested, get on Google and start researching bird migrations in the Northern Hemisphere. And the people who really study birds, the ornithologists who really keep all the way around the globe, in the Northern Hemisphere, almost all populations of migratory birds over the last several years have been coming south later, not going as far south, staying south less time, and then migrating back north much earlier in the spring. They're seeing it all the way around the world.
And so is this like the invasion of the trumpeter swans at Heber Springs every year? They're off their beaten path, or are they getting...
No, the weather's changed.
The weather changed.
Yeah, I mean, like it or not,
do we want to get into climate change? Do we
well, our climate's changing.
Okay.
Now, will it change back? God could make it change back tomorrow,
sure
and I hope He does.
Yeah.
So, I'm not getting into the politics of it. I'm getting into our climate is changing. If you don't believe it, you got your head in the sand.
Yeah. All right. Very deep.
If you're a duck hunter, you better believe it.
Because duck hunters really. And I've always, I never prepare for anything, really. When I got Bill here, I could just talk, But duck hunters are the most optimistic people I've ever met. I know that they always think we got this liberal season, 6 birds, 60.
6 and 60, yep.
That's it.
Been that way since 97, I think.
Yeah, late 90s. I knew that. And there was a big controversy about it then.
Yeah.
So now we're sitting at this thing. There's plenty of birds. We just don't know what's going on with their patterns.
Right.
And that all comes back. Weather is the key factor.
Well, I mean, some migrate on photo period more than others. The blue-winged teals, some of the pintails, even some mallards tend to migrate on the calendar more than on weather. It takes a little bit of a cold front bump, but that's why teal migrate in August. Blue-wings. Other ducks are going to wait it out.
Gadwalls.
Gadwalls, some of them are photo migrating. That's why you see so many down in the Mississippi Delta, and in Louisiana. But a lot of them also, different. And that's what God does with animals. Some of them are predisposed to, and that's how they survive as a species. Some of them migrate later than others. So whatever the conditions are that year is going to favor one population or another.
I'm expecting David Attenborough to come on and talk about the Arctic and does all the things on the Smithsonian channel that I watch and everything. Again, Bill Cooksey is in with us. Ron Wong will be joining us in the next segment. Ron is up at Caruthersville at the big Grizzly Jig Spring Show. It's hard to say spring show in late January, but we do know that the duck season ends on the 31st. Mm-hmm. I know in Tennessee. And I know the commission met this past week. We're going to have a lot about that on next week's show. In fact, later in the show today, we'll be talking to Amy Snyder a little bit, the TWR Region 1 outreach program and communication. We'll talk to her. But February 1st, February 8th, 2 youth days.
Ridiculous, in my opinion.
That's what he said when he came in this morning, y'all. Said this has to change. And I didn't realize it. Knowing me, that I'm in deer depression. I see where Mississippi extended their season in the areas of CWD. Well, golly, I was not going to use that phrase today. I was going to try to skip 1 week without. But they did open up some extra days to
kill. That's news.
To kill more deer.
That's news. You should report that.
But Tennessee opened up all these days we had this year, and we won't go into that. But I'm just saying, it sounds and. I didn't realize that having a 1 day for a youth on the 1st and another day on the 8th. I don't, and not having any, as you mentioned.
It's extremely short-sighted.
Yeah.
And I've heard every reason offered for why they're doing it.
And we don't have the season ends on the 31st.
It ends on the 31st. There is no rest. And that's one of the things that makes that youth hunt typically special.
And I know you're
birds rest,
really
and
heavily involved with shotgun sports and things along that line.
Youth shooting.
Youth.
Yeah. And I mean,
we got 2 minutes. But
I've had youth.
Right, yeah.
It's weird now to suddenly find myself without a kid to take during youth seasons. But, they don't have any time to rest. So that hunt on the 1st, what's that all about? I mean, you're shooting the same ducks in the same spot they were hunted the day before.
You just want to show the youth what you've been going through.
Yeah, there you go. And the other thing about it.
And that's going to say, well, where are the ducks? I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. But you give those ducks a week to rest. And it's almost like a migration's come in a lot of times.
It is.
And all it is the birds haven't heard a gunshot fired in anger, and they come off of their refuges and the spots they've been able to hide. And with all the water we've had, they have a lot of those places. Well, now they're out and moving around, so the kids get a
but it's
whack
a one
at
day. They just got one day here, one day there.
Right. And in the past, when we had 2 days back to back, it did 2 things. One, it let those ducks rest. 2, people who have to travel to hunt, not everyone hunts 20 minutes from home.
Yeah, yeah.
And folks that have to travel, it's a whole lot easier to go and stay for a weekend, especially when you're taking kids. It's not easy to get a 12-year-old kid up at 2 in the morning, drive them, 2.5 hours, take a boat ride, hunt, drive them home that night, and get them to do it all again next week. Get a hotel in between, you have fun.
Well, I know TWRA's hunting commentary period is going on, and I don't know what you folks think about that, but we've opened up the can here. We might just keep the worms in there for a while and see what happens. But it goes through the comment period. It goes through February the 18th for the hunting regulations. The state's hunting seasons are set every 2 years. I didn't realize that, except for waterfowl and other migratory birds, which are set annually.
Right.
So we could have some changes next year. All right, let's take a break. Head to Caruthersville. Bill Cooksy's in the house with us on this Saturday morning on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Good morning to all you folks in Memphis, Brownsville, Jackson, Bill's stomping grounds up there on News Talk 101.5. I know he's been a long time listener.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a break. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.